Inspect your miniature, look it over, and think about the ways you want and the colours that you'd like to use on your miniature. Check to make sure all the details have been painted. Compare it with this one. He's finished, painted, shadows and definition definitely show on this miniature. Alright, let's choose a colour. We're going to choose Drying Blood. Put some of the paint on your palette. Grab yourself a paintbrush. Load up the bristles with some paint. Bit more, please. There we go. Now, start from the top and work your way down. Let gravity be your friend when it comes to ink. It flows naturally because it has a high viscosity. Now what you can see here is it's starting to bring out shadows and definitions in the miniature. Thinking about where you're going to place your brush is very important. In this part here, on the left hand side of that miniature, I've used too much ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my brush in some water. And it's a bit wet, as you can see. And now I'm going to use that to push the ink around. So the ink still has quite a bit of working time, so I'm going to thin it down even more and push it around with the brush. Spread it into places that don't already have ink on it. So, little error there, but taken care of, not to worry. Alright, so we're going inside this particular miniature's guts here, as it were. We're bringing those up and showing definition because there's a lot of bumps and creases and shadows that we want to try and highlight here. Now that's ink washes do a great job of that. They show shadow and create definition in the miniature. So look for places that would naturally have a shadow where light wouldn't shine and load that up with some ink. Sorry, the ink wash we're using, not direct ink. Alright, so we're going to start now and we're going to try and get the facial features to show here. And starting from the top, using gravity and pulling down. And just moving what we've got on our brush around. You don't need to use too much ink because it does stay in the miniature and it gets in all those holes, and there's some still loaded in the bristles of the paintbrush itself. So push it around, get it in the around the eyes, or the holes in case of this miniature, and just think about where you want it to go. So this side is bland, this side is done. So we'll just push the ink over again. It's very easy to work with ink, so you can just push it down, push it into the crevices, the folds, and the lines in the miniature skin. Work on the eyes and around the facial features because the eyes are naturally drawn to the face. Back to the side of the body. Highlight the connections between the muscles and the joints there, just a bit darker because you want natural shadow to show. That's actually a scar on that one, so we'll make that pretty dark. Now there's a leg, and we're not going to worry about the leg. We're going to look at his pants. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a different color for that. We don't want to use the same red. So here we've got a heavy body black wash, which is actually more of a green. So put more of that into your palette. And wait, there we go. Clean your brush off in the meantime. We'll get a new brush and load it up with the this heavy body black or green. Remember, the choice color is yours. You can choose what color you like, what best suits. In this case, a dark green on a light green is a very good color choice because we want to show quite a lot of shadow in his raggy pantaloons. I've accidentally hit the hand there, but that's no biggie. Alright, here we go. From the top, bringing it down using gravity, because gravity is our friend in this case. And you can start to see shadows appearing in the pantaloons. Or the rags, as he's wearing. So, a little bit more. Try to be careful not to get it on the other part of the miniature, the skin color, because that is a very dark color. Depending on what you want your zombie to look like, in this case, my miniature zombie is just having a dry blood look to him, or looks like a flesh or sepia kind of wash on it. So you can go from anything purple or a blue wash. It's up to you. The colours I have available there for you are quite a lot of variation. We're continuing here with the pantaloons. There we are. You can see some more shadow has appeared. When you compare the front with the rear of the zombie, you can't see any definition there. So we're going to carry on here and do the back of his pantaloons. There we go. Getting in there. Deep. Trying to be careful not to get the skin. And top, pulling down using gravity. Making sure we cover all the ink washed parts of the I'm going to call it a skirt. It looks like a skirt. He's wearing a skirt. A little bit more paint. If you ever find your brushes getting too dry and hard, just give them a quick wash in the water there in front of you. That'll help loosen up the bristles again. Okay. Turn your model. Remember, you're in control of the model here, so, or the miniature. So keep turning it to get the best angle on it. Alright, what I'm going to do here is I'm intentionally overloading with an ink wash. I'm putting too much ink on. This is more ink than I could possibly use. So I quickly wash my brush. I dry it out. And then I use the capillary action, or the sucking action of the bristles, to absorb some of that ink. And then I quickly wash it in so that the brush is damp. I pull down again, push up because I've taken away too much. And then, because of the long working time as mentioned before, you get quite a bit of leeway with that. It's quite forgiving. Now, let's break my own rule here. Started with the bottom and the way up just because I wanted to show the spine definition. So you can see just by adding a quick brush of any color, you can make the miniature pop. So by pop, I mean you can give it the definitions in shadow. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go through, finish the rest of it, sweep around them. Still using my finger as a palette. You should probably use tissues. Alright, so quickly looking around for places we may have missed, and it looks like the head, top of the head, so keep looking over your miniature, make sure there's no missed spots, because there's nothing quite as unsatisfying as going over your miniature after it's dried and then seeing that there's a big blotch that you've missed. Working on that leg that I pointed out earlier. Alright. Keep going. Looking for more places. The other leg now. Anything else? Back of the leg, yes. Very important. Always missed. Okay. Final looks. Give it a twist. Alright, he's done. And that's it. That's what it looks like when it's finished. Very dead.